Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Data here with breaking news. Maybe not so breaking anymore. It's been a couple hours now in the NHL today. A massive trade going down as the St. Louis Blues trade Vladimir Tarasenko, the lifetime Blue. He's been there since being drafted back for, was it 16th overall in the first round back in 2000 and going back my memory bank 2010. Yeah, 16th overall in 2010. He's been there his whole career. He's traded today. He's on an expiring deal. We've been thinking that it's going to be coming, and it's finally come now. He's been traded with Niko Mikkola to the New York Rangers in exchange for a conditional 2023 first-round pick. It will be a first-round pick, the later of the Rangers pick, or the Dallas 2023 first-round pick, which came to the Rangers in the Niels Lundqvist trade. So a 2023 first, a 2024 fourth, as well as Sammy Blais and Hunter Skinner. Now, initially, I think this is a big win for the Rangers. I don't think Tarasenko is the player that he is anymore. I think he's a name. You know, it's a flashy name to say, wow, Tarasenko. I don't think he is the player that he once was, but at the same time, I think he's still a very good player. Not to say he's not able to do what he does anymore, right? Andrew Metro team except Pittsburgh stop loading up challenge. The Penguins, they got to do something now. The Penguins feeling the pressure, absolutely, as the Rangers are looking very good. Getting into the chat here. Thank you for that, Andrew. Dabrowski-Ego, hey Data, hope you're having a great Thursday. Thank you, my friend. You as well. I was devastated when I saw the trade go down and I wasn't able to break the news right here, right away. But we'll do it right now. We'll get into this trade, all the pieces on both sides, who wins and why, and we'll look into that prospect, look into draft picks, and look at all the analytics behind everything. Welcome to everybody. Soderblums, welcome to Nay. Thanks everyone for being in here. I think the Blues are trying to tank. I don't know about that. They did have Tarasenko on an expiring deal, likely not going to resign. I don't know if tank is the word, but I wouldn't say that their return was amazing on Tarasenko, and that's what we're going to get into today. So I believe the Rangers, let's start off right now, right here, right now. I believe the Rangers win this trade. That's what I have to say off the bat. Now, Vladimir Tarasenko, let's pull up the numbers. Let's pull them up. Here we go. Let's pull them up. Vladimir Tarasenko this season, not the player that he has been, but let's say this season, still 67 percentile of projected wins above replacement, still well above average as an NHL player. He is, let's pull it up. Come on. The description here we see traded today, he's a top 6 sniper, still very dangerous off the rush in particular. His production at 5v5 has fallen off this season after a big jump last year. That was what he benefited from playing with Robert Thomas. But he's still a good chance creator. So the even strength offense is there. Defense, that's not what you're looking for. Don't worry about it. Goals per 60 is still there. Primary assists per 60, it's up there. Playing against high levels of competition with high levels of teammates. He draws penalties quite well. His finishing is well above average. He's still there. He's not doing what he did last season. He's dropped off a little bit after his big jump from 2021 into 21-22. Looking at the micro stats here. Let's see what we can do now. Yeah, Rangers definitely not going to be getting Patrick Kane, I don't think, at this point. It's not going to work out. I don't think that's a match anymore. So looking into it a bit more closely here, we see the chances, the shots off high danger passes. All this is well above league average. Goals are a bit lower. Primary assists. This is 2022-23, correct? Because what we just saw... were these his numbers last season? No, it can't be. Because I see primary assists at 29th percentile. But then this last image said, come on, just takes a long time to pull up. Unless it's projected, it's primary 72%. Oh, it's 3-year weighted average. Excuse me. Yes, of course, it's a 3-year weighted average. My apologies. So this season, not as great. That's what brings it down overall. Yeah, saw that. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. So it definitely brings it down overall this season being at 29, bringing it down to 72 over the last 3 seasons. But still, just this season alone, rush shots, rush offense, still stuff where he's elite. Aside from just being very good, shot contributions, all that good stuff. High danger passes, zone exits, those are well below league average. But still, for the most part, what we're trying to say is that he's not what he once was. He's not what he was last season either. but he's still a very good player who's been plagued by some injuries and a not very good St. Louis Blues team, right? Last season, 29 points in 38 games, this season. So if you put that on pace for an 82 game season, his 29 points this year put him on pace for 63. So not the 82 and 75 that he did last season, but much better than the pace that he'd been on previously. And he'd, injury ridden, not able to get much going. He had 68, maybe a bit lower than his career average actually this year, being on pace for 63 around or so, but still a good season on a bad team, especially with Ryan O'Reilly injured, with Pavel Buchnevich injured. I think Tarasenko, put him on the Rangers team with Panarin, etc. It's going to go exceptionally well. Let's get back in the comments here quickly before I pull anything else up. Would imagine his production has fallen off because St. Louis as a whole have fallen off. Yeah, well said there, Andrew. Dabrowskiego saying, for those who do not know the full details, it is a conditional first and fourth rounder. Sammy, yeah, exactly. Thank you for pulling that back up for those of you who were not here at the very beginning. So let's get into the draft picks here. So the draft picks that the Rangers get, that they give, is the later of the two between their own first and the first they got from the Dallas Stars in the Nils Lundkvist trade. So essentially, they're moving Lundkvist and Sammy Blais and a fourth for VLADIMIR TARASENKO and Niko Mikkola. So that first from Dallas, whichever one's later, between the Dallas first or the Rangers first, it's going to be a late first either way. That Dallas first, they're going to be a good Western Conference team. The Rangers are pushing. It should be well into the 20s, that first round pick. So it's not going to be anything crazy. It's the later of the two. I would imagine late 20s on one of those two picks. So a great deal, I think, in terms of draft stock that they have to give up. They're not giving up crazy things here. They still get to keep a first this season. They still have their own second this season. They have Colorado's third. They're in an okay spot. They give up one of those surplus firsts that they had in Lundkvist trade, along with a fourth, no skin off their nose, no problem. They get Tarasenko at 50% retained, with, I'm sure, the possibility of re-signing him if he'd like to come back. Because if you were to swallow the fact that many players are likely not coming back, if you're going to say, okay, Halak is gone, okay, for sure, but some of these younger players like Heidel, I don't know, it depends on what direction you want to go in, right? Because the Rangers have pretty much no cap space right now, $94,000. So they're going to have to say goodbye to, or without making trades, they'd have to say goodbye to someone like Heidel, to someone like Lafreniere. That would be if they were to make another big trade. If they were to try and get another big piece and move Lafreniere, Kravtsov, Gauthier, then it would be possible for maybe Tarasenko to come back. I don't know. It would still be pretty tight. But I don't think, now that I'm looking at the numbers a bit more closely, I don't think Tarasenko comes back. If he's commanding even less than you would think, maybe he's still looking for, 7.5, 8 million. The Rangers don't have that money, even if they decide not to bring back their young players. But I think they want to bring back their young players. They have a lot of money committed to Vinny Trocheck, to Mika Zibanejad. They have a lot of long-term deals here. Adam Fox's extension is kicking in. Ryan Lindgren's going to want to get paid in a couple of years from now. Doesn't look like Tarasenko is going to be sticking around, if you ask me. Igor Shesterkin's on a great contract. They cannot commit money for Tarasenko into the 2026-27 range. They have other people to re-sign, lots of young players. They're in a good spot right now. So I think now the more I look at it, it is instant reaction and analysis. Instant reaction, he has to be pure rental, like Mikey says. Pure rental makes the most sense, and they're definitely putting the league on noticing we're going all in here. Now, Niko Mikkola is also an interesting one. He's an offensive defenseman. He only has 3 assists on the season, 13 points in 54 games last year. Let me pull up what Jay Fresh has to say about him. His card is actually quite, not amazing, but it's surprisingly not that bad. Mikkola, here he is. I believe he's in the 28th percentile. So you think, the guy has 3 points. He must be like a dumpster fire. No, I'm not saying he's above average, but it's not like he's in that 5th or 10th percentile. Projected 28th percentile. Not horrible. Not horrible. Not great. Not horrible. 44th% of even strength defense. It's definitely gone downhill very much from in close to 75 2 seasons ago to 25 to now. Well, actually, it's 28 on average. That's true, eh? I got to keep remembering that's 28 on average. This season, it's closer to it looks like 15 or something. That's true. Because it's 2 years ago with him being up close to the 70s that brings it to average at 28th projected. expected wins above average. Yep. Well, that being said, don't expect much from him. It's looking at this season's micro stat sheet. I still don't think he's as horrible as 3 points in 50 games makes him sound, but no problem with being a third pair, 7th D guy. Even strength of defense, 36th percentile. There are defensemen who are worse than that. Some people think that he's a traffic cone. Yeah, I don't think he's anything ridiculous. We have a lot of low numbers here, but you're not looking for primary assists and chance assists and exit success rates necessarily in zone offense. You're looking at that even strength defense wins above replacement. You're looking at that penalty kill wins above replacement. That's what you're looking for. And those are both below average, but not in the toilet. All that being said, so they not just only do the Rangers get Tarasenko, they get Mikkola as well. And all it costs them is Sammy Blais, who's not, let me find, I'm not sure if his card was here actually. I wouldn't call him anything special either. He goes back to the team that originally drafted him. I don't think Jay Fresh put up a card for him, eh? I'll just go into the analytics myself if we don't see anything here. Microstats, yeah, down then the Connor Timmins extension. So Sammy Blais this season, he's a 4th round pick, I believe, or the 5th round pick from the Blues, 6th round pick even back in 2014. He played 4 seasons with St. Louis. He had 15 points in 36 games when he was traded to the Rangers. What deal was that again? He had 15 in 36 times 15. He was on pace for a 34-point season when he was traded to the Rangers in the Pavel Buchnevich trade. Now he's traded back to St. Louis in the Vladimir Tarasenko trade. With the Rangers, he has scored 9 points in 54 games, 4 goals in 5 games down in the AHL. He has not scored a single goal with the Rangers in 54 games, 9 assists. So not a single goal in the NHL with the Rangers. 44 points in 173 games in his career. I think he's like a bottom 6 guy. I don't really see him breaking out of it at this point. Not like his career is over at 26 years of age, but I think you know who Sammy Blais is at this point. He's a decent playmaking bottom 6 guy who has struggled this season. At his best, he's been on pace for 30-ish points, and the Blues are going to hope that they can get him back to that pace once they have him back in their system, I suppose. So Sammy Blais, I don't think he was getting the greatest amount of ice time either. So it's not like they were giving him all the chances in the world and they're disgusted with him. I have a lot of pages open here, so the computer's chugging along. Yeah, he's doing 7-8 minutes a night. With the Blues, I'm curious. Yeah, with the Blues, he was getting upwards of 12 minutes a night. With the Rangers this season, around 9.5. So yeah, I could see it working out with him coming back to St. Louis. It could be a good match. The prospect that the Blues also get in this trade, so they get Blais, they get the picks, they also get Hunter Skinner, a defensive prospect who's currently playing down in the ECHL, 8 points in 22 games with the Jacksonville Icemen. He was a 4th round pick in 2019. There you go. 2 points in 8 games in the AHL, yet to have any NHL action. So before I continue breaking things down, let's get some more action back from the comments and see what all of you have to say. So as Mikey said, pure rental. Yeah, I see that very clearly. Dexter saying that the Devils definitely have to look at doing something if they want to have a playoff run, especially with the teams around him making these moves for sure. Dabrowski doesn't think that the Devils will be getting Timo Meier. Well, now, you see the Islanders are not going to get Timo Meier. The Rangers are not going to get Timo Meier. It seems as though the Devils are the front runners, but Dabrowski thinks the Devils are not going to get him because they have to clear cap by possibly trading Bratt and Tatar. The Devils should trade Severson and Smith at the deadline, and Luke Hughes' coach is guaranteed to come up to the NHL, so then there are the spots that they have available, right? So won't get too much into Timo Meier at this point, but I would say Timo Meier is the favorite to go to New Jersey. I'm just not sure how it would happen just yet, but I do think that they definitely want to make it happen. Now, all that being said, let's go back over to the St. Louis Blues, looking at what they're up to. So the Blues, I don't know if I'd call them a rebuilding team at this moment. They still have lots of years of control on Shen, Kyrou, Thomas. The core is here. The defense, their top 4 is locked. Falk, Krug, Parayko, Leddy. That's locked for at least the next 3 seasons after this one. Jordan Binnington is their goalie for better or for worse. I don't think the Blues are currently or are going to be in the near future a rebuilding team. With Tarasenko gone, they recoup a little bit of draft potential. They don't really get much in terms of, I don't think Hunter Skinner or Sammy Blais would really do anything too much. They get a first round pick in their system. Now they have 2 firsts in the 2023 draft, no matter who they get it from, New York or from Dallas. And they have some more money to play with. That's basically it. They don't lose Tarasenko for free. They get some money to play with. They recoup some draft picks, and they continue along on their merry way. So if their cap space right now, it's difficult because of Buchnevich and O'Reilly being on the LTIR. But they will have the money, more money at least, to spend now on re-signing their captain, Ryan O'Reilly, on getting a backup goalie, on getting Barbashev signed up. But aside from that, it wouldn't be the end of the world if you let Josh Levo and Tyler Pitlick and Nola Chari walk. They have their core signed up. I think they want to add Barbashev to that core. And that's about it. They want to keep O'Reilly on board. And there you go. The Blues are in a good spot. They're not a very good team. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. At the moment, they've had a lot of trouble. They're not the greatest team in the NHL. They have a lot of things to tweak, but their core is here. They don't need to make drastic changes. It's going to hurt without Vladimir Tarasenko. They got to use that money wisely, use that draft pick wisely. I don't think they're stronger without Vladimir Tarasenko, but I still think that they are a strong team. Are they not trading Ryan O'Reilly, says Andrew? That's a good question. He is on an expiring deal, but he is currently on the injured reserve. He is their captain. He won the Conn Smythe when they won the Stanley Cup. I wouldn't think that they're shopping Ryan O'Reilly. I wouldn't say he's not moving, but I wouldn't think that he's being shopped. Again, they have a lot of long-term players signed up. Thomas, Kyrou, Saad, Shen, Falk, Krug, Parayko, Leddy. That's 8 players right there signed for at least the next 3 years. There's your forward and defense core signed for the next 3 years. I don't see a reason to move Ryan O'Reilly really right now. I think he stays. But we'd have to, we'll see what the direction the Blues want to go in. So that's how St. Louis looks. The Rangers, pure rental here for Tarasenko. They also don't have to give up too much, as they still have a first-round pick in this 2023 draft. They don't move any blue-chip prospects. They don't move any major roster players. They even recoup a depth defenseman for themselves here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hayek, maybe Mikkola is 7, and Hayek is in that top 6. I don't know if they're phasing Hayek out. I had read that. Frank Seravalli had said something about that. But regardless, they now get maybe a bit more of a solid 7th or 8th guy as opposed to Ben Harper. And the Rangers are stronger today without having to have given up too much. Andrew, the Blues won't win anything until Binnington is gone. I don't necessarily disagree with you there, but he is signed up long term. They have, they've made their bed. Now they have to lie in it. So Vladimir Tarasenko, my friends, new member of the New York Rangers. Where does he fit into the lineup? That's what we can look into next. He wasn't quite doing much as of late. Yeah, no points. Yeah, that's true. I have him in one of my fantasy leagues. Wasn't doing anything as of late. But this man is a Stanley Cup champion. He has received Selke votes. He's received Hart votes 3 consecutive years, 2015, 16, and 17. At his best, he is a menace. He is a 40-goal scorer. He is a 30-plus goal scorer. He is, what's his 82 game average in his career? Balance everything out from the good years and the bad years, he's still on average a 70-point player. So I think that the Rangers, with, let's say, Panarin feeding him the puck as Robert Thomas did last season, will just be eating this up. Let me look at their depth chart right here. So the Rangers at the moment, if you were to slot Tarasenko onto the first line, let's let that window open up here. Side note, Jackie week to week, and Jack Hughes is this history. Misses 2 weeks. He might mean, I see what you mean there, Dabrowski. Yeah. So the Rangers system. So the first line, oh my goodness, how about that for a first line? Panarin, Zibanejad, and Tarasenko, right? Sheesh. Kreider, Trocheck, and keep Barclay Goodrow there because the kid line, Lafreniere, Heidel, and Kakko, they won't want to mess that up. So that gives them better top 6 right there. Barclay Goodrow, Chris Kreider can move off the first line. Whoever was playing there, I believe Kreider was playing there more. You can let that first line just thrive a lot more. Give Trocheck better wingers than, I think, was it VC or Kravtsov who was playing on that second line a little bit as well. I'm not going to call myself a Rangers expert. Defense stays the same, just reinforced a little bit more, but that first line is a lot scarier. A lot scarier. Sheesh, right? A lot scarier. So Tarasenko, who's already on a 60-plus point pace, he's a 70-point-plus player in his career. Give him this lineup. Give him these line mates. I think that even though he's going to be a rental, he's going to be going to free agency, he's going to be in a contract. He's in a contract year, right? So he's going to have the better line mates with the desire in himself to just go off to try and get that big contract after a bit of a lackluster year, some injuries holding him back. He's going to be going all in. And the Rangers are in a very good spot right now. Last thing I'm going to do is pull up the NHL standings here. I just want to see how things look, because the Islanders are going to be pushing into the postseason, but the Metro is stacked right now. The Metro is stacked. One of the Capitals or the Penguins are going to have to get bumped out if a team like the Sabres or the Islanders want to move their way in. And with the Islanders putting the Metropolitan on notice, saying, hey, teams above us, get scared. The Rangers are now saying, no, I'll see you, your Bo Horvat, and I'll raise you, my Vladimir Tarasenko. We are not getting bumped out of this division. So I'd say the Rangers give themselves a lock now in terms of giving themselves a divisional spot. I don't even think there'll be a wild card. I think that pretty much locks them into a divisional spot at this point. NHL.com is always a site that takes a very long time to load. But let me pull this up for you now. So we see... Let me look by the wild card. Islanders 4 games in Penguins 4 games in hand over the Islanders as well. Keep that in mind. The day I will watch a third Sabres Stanley Cup appearance will be when they win black and red. Brasquiego. Well, look forward to tomorrow's career simulation, buddy. That's all I'll say. So the Rangers are in the... No, let me take that back. The Rangers are already in a comfortable-ish spot. They have 2 games in hand over the Capitals, and they're up by 6 points. Now, I think they can feel even more comfortable to say that they're going to have a divisional spot, and it's likely a date between the Rangers and the Devils in round number 1 of the postseason. That's going to be scary stuff, right? Timo Meier to Carolina or New Jersey, that would be even scarier. Good point here from Krazika. Oh, I was trying to read this while scrolling. Krazika Mikaze. There you go. Crazy kamikaze. That took me a second. So the Islanders, who are now 4 games back of the Penguins, the Sabres are 3 points back, but at the same amount of points. These 2 teams are the ones who are probably, and the Panthers, even forgot about them. You got these 3 teams that are pushing for the Metro, but they no longer have to really, the Rangers no longer have to really be afraid of them as much. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams fighting for 3 spots, I would say has now become 5 teams fighting for 2 spots. That's what I'd say the Metropolitan Division has become now. 5 teams fighting for 2 spots. Adrian leaving a comment here. I'm a Rangers fan, and in my opinion, we fleeced St. Louis. Average prospect who's likely no more than a 6th, 7th D. The lower of 2 firsts we have at max a 3rd, and we got a solid roster D-man, and they retain 50%. I haven't used the word fleece, but I might be getting into that category here. I think the Rangers definitely win this trade. I think the Blues probably get what they could have with them being on the ropes, because not only do they want to move Tarasenko because he's an expiring deal, but teams around the NHL know that Tarasenko is likely not going back because he's already requested a trade in the past. He could have gone to Seattle in the expansion draft. It was not really a secret that Tarasenko wasn't extremely happy in St. Louis, right? At least it didn't seem like it. So I guess the league leveraged that against the Blues, but they still get a first out of it. They still get a roster player out of it, someone they know, someone who did well in their system, and they get a prospect who might become something, might not. While the Rangers get to really reinforce their first line and say, hey, it may be a match, a date with destiny to see we're playing the Devils in round number 1. We're going to need more scoring power. And that first line of Panarin, Zibanejad, and Tarasenko, oh my goodness. That's going to be a great series to watch. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's my instant reaction and analysis to this blockbuster. Vladimir Tarasenko traded to the New York Rangers at 50% retained salary with Niko Mikkola in exchange to the New York Rangers in exchange for the later of the Rangers or the Stars 2023 first round pick, a 2024 fourth round pick. I believe I saw that it could become a third, but Saravalli is not saying that. But at the moment, at least we can say it's 2 draft picks, Sammy Blais and Hunter Skinner. I think the Blues are very happy to probably get that after they think that, okay, we're seeing Timo Meier is going to cost us Kravtsov, Lafreniere, Kakko. We're seeing all these crazy price tags. We have to give up one of our blue chip guys. Crazy so much, draft, blah, blah. And now they see, oh, we can get Tarasenko. Yes, he's a pure rental. We're not going to be able to get him beyond this season, but we don't need to give up anything crazy. I think they're much happier today to be able to have given up the first they got for Niels Lundqvist or whatever, with Sammy Blais, who wasn't doing anything for them, and Hunter Skinner, who wasn't really a big prospect. They get to move them out and bring in the rental of one of the highest sought-after targets at the trade deadline here. The fourth becomes a third if they make the playoffs. Okay, thank you, Adrian. Great. So I think the Rangers are definitely making the playoffs. So if it becomes a late first and a late third, then there you go. There you go. Data, I don't want to hear your voice until you're talking about those Devils. Absolutely, my friend. It's too bad that the trade came while I was at work, but thank you, everyone, for joining us here. I know, obviously, there's only going to be 15, 20 people or so who join as opposed to the 100 plus when it's breaking news. But make sure that you're subscribed for future breaking news that will be coming, especially at the trade deadline. Live coverage of the trade deadline will be coming your way from 1 to 4 p.m. on the day of the deadline. I'm very excited for that, so make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss out on that coverage or any other breaking news and analysis here on the channel, as well as franchise mode, career simulations, new NHL 23 career simulation coming out tomorrow, and of course, the Sharks franchise. Thank you to Browskiego. Have a great day. Cannot wait for the career sim and next Sharks franchise mode episode. Those are coming your way soon, but especially the career sim tomorrow. So thank you for watching here. Thank you for listening. Leave your thoughts if you're not watching live down here in the comments. Who do you think wins this trade? I think the Rangers win it, but I also think the Blues got probably what they could have gotten. Maybe more on deadline day, but maybe they just want to make it happen now. Is it in the fleece category? That's for all of you to decide. I've said my piece. I think it's clear at this moment that the Rangers win. Hopefully, Black can do something with the Blues getting rejuvenated. Maybe Hunter Skinner becomes something. Who knows who that first round picks becomes as well. And, if that first becomes something and the Rangers lose in round 1 and Tarasenko walks to free agency, obviously, maybe the Blues get the edge in that deal, right? So let me know your thoughts. Who wins? What are the conditions for who wins and why? Thank you for taking the time to watch. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Thank you for spending the time with me this afternoon. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and we'll all talk soon. Good night.